All right, let's get stuck in. Welcome, guys. Welcome one. Welcome all. If you're watching recording, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, put notifications on for more frequent updates like this. Content is going to be coming thick and fast in the near future as well. So again, with that, guys, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, the reason why is so you get notifications. Hi, Tam. Great to see you as always. Subscribe so that when we have new videos and most importantly trainings that go up, I want to talk about this next, you will get a notification. So like there's a lot of new training that's on the portal. First I want to go to the business tracker, right? There's a new business tracker on the portal. I think, Michael, I was telling you about it last week. Was I telling? Now it's been up there for about 2 months, but the thing is obviously if people aren't aware that the content is being uploaded to the platform which we use, which is YouTube, you're not going to know there's any new content. And it's obviously quite hard for me to communicate with every single person that there's a new training. So there is a new training video on the business tracking. There's been, excuse me, a lot of new trainings added to the portal over the last little while, but the business tracker, if any of you want to go and when you all do your business trackers, because I know that you do so much very often, you know, you're all very good at doing it. So get your fucking trackers done first and foremost, but get the new tracker done if you want. There's a couple new statistics in there. It just helps get to like understand people's situations in terms of how many clients you've got on hold, or how many calls you're making, and it creates it's just more data, which enables me to again better coach people. We've all had it, like for example, when you have like someone pays you in bulk, for example, Tom, right? Like you said yesterday, and then I'm sat there going like, why have you just made $20 million in one day? And you're like, well, everyone paid me up front. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, I didn't know. So there's lots of stuff we can just chuck in. So check out the new business tracker, get them done, send me the screenshots weekly, and then just feel free to have a browse, guys, if you want, through the portal. Second thing that I'm going to say next on that is this, which is really important. The portal on its own will take people to the stratosphere of business success as rental trainers, or whatever you want to call it. However, the chances of people actually utilizing the portal and getting it done on their own without a foot up their ass, from me, is very low. So make sure you always engage, guys, and use the portal in conjunction with what you have, which is a coach in your pocket 24 hours a day. I would highly recommend that you utilize me. Also, the last thing before we get stuck in is these check-ins, right? Does anyone find these check-ins a pain in the ass? Well, why don't any of you fucking do them then? That's the next thing, right? So here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be very, very honest. I had a very nice chat with Ray, who's just disappeared this morning. Pinnacle, the way that Pinnacle's moving, so those of you who are here live, we're creating a course. I don't know, anyone not know? Ray is there. I can see you, Ray. We spoke about this in detail. Does anyone not know about this course that we're creating at Pinnacle? It's very exciting times, by the way. Anyone, show of hands if you haven't heard the course, right? Ish. So we're creating a new company and it's called Strike. Now, the idea of Strike is to take over the fitness industry first and foremost in educational purposes, in Australia first, and then the world, to educate in-person trainers how to grow a successful fitness business. And it's that simple. Basically, I know for a fact that if every single person that became educated in Cert 3 and Cert 4 in fitness then came through me after that with business coaching, there wouldn't be an 80% dropout rate in the industry. There would probably be an 80 to 90% success rate, which is what we have here at Pinnacle, at least 90%. So with Strike, basically, this is really important, guys. Strike is a self-taught course, right? Obviously, we work with a lot of people here at Pinnacle. It's around 100 at the moment. And with that being said, and we're speaking about attendance rates this morning, Ray, right? With the seminar, you guys are always loyal attendees of the seminar. Everyone always thinks there's not, how are you coaching 100 people? I never see them. Well, that's because about 80% of people don't utilize the seminar service. They don't. If you're listening to this on record, make sure you continue to watch them on record. If you can come live, come live. But there's a lot of people that don't prioritize it. Now, with self-taught courses, And this perfectly warms us into the seminar topic today of how to be able to read where your client's mindset is at, right, in order to then achieve the best results possible with you. A self-paced course, there's no accountability for anyone to complete that shit. There isn't, right? But at the end of the day, and this is the real talk right now, ready for it, Ray? You heard this already, so it's round 2. Basically, I'm not going to stick around to motivate people to get out of bed every morning. I'm not doing it, basically. So what we're doing with Strike is we're putting Strike together with a lot of accountability in there, a lot of gamification, the use of artificial intelligence and all that new tech that the world is obsessed with at the moment to make people take action, right? And it's that simple. If you take action, you will win. The idea of what we have with the check-in, and this, again, perfectly, Zach, good morning, brother. Good to see you, dude. Nath, good morning. And Sue and Kel, good morning. And Damo, good to see you, brother. Basically, it funnels perfectly into what we're doing here is the use of a check-in enables me to see who's really engaged and who isn't engaged. Who I can basically gauge, and this isn't being arrogant, it's being honest, and this is, again, perfectly funnels into the topic of this webinar. I can see who's engaged, who's not, based on whether we complete check-ins, business trackers, on a level of like, if your check-in was, say, gives you 30% engagement, then your Voxer communication was another 30, then your business tracker was another 30, and then there's a few other things that equal the last 10%. Somebody that gets all of those 4 or 5 things done and equals 100%, I guarantee their business is fucking flying. Guarantee it. People that do one of those things, I guarantee it's not. People that do none, I guarantee they're probably not getting out of bed. And the point going back to is this: I don't want you guys with your clients, and with Strike, the reason why we're putting it together is to obviously impact the fitness industry, but to take a lot of the mental stress of having to kick people in the ass and get them to get out of bed with people that just don't want to get out of bed, right? Today's seminar, guys, is going to be highly motivational. And I want to start off with you guys, right? You guys being a product of Pinnacle or being a part of Pinnacle, a student, your attendance rates, your completion rates of your trackers, your check-ins and all this shit, which honestly is most people don't complete them, right? Will reflect on your client's commitment to you, right? So this seminar today, I can't wait to deliver this one because there's going to be a lot of mental, subconscious things and a lot of setbacks and what causes people to engage and disengage. And it's all obviously put together for you guys to benefit from your clients, all right, and give them the results that they pay you for, but for you to be able to gauge where they're at and for you to be able to intercept, like I've just done with the start of this webinar by telling you, if you're not completing trackers, you're not completing check-ins, which none of you put your hand up and said it was a pain in the ass. I'll put my hand up and say it's a fucking pain in the ass sending 100 of them out, personally. And not one of you says it's a pain in the ass to fill them in. Get them done. The reason why it's there is for accountability purposes, but also for me to gauge how engaged you are. And again, like I said, to be able to guarantee I know where you're at in your business without you even knowing. I know. And it's that simple. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, this isn't like a personal attack on anyone. It's not. It's just really important, and it pre-frames into what's going on next with your guys. That can anyone take away any sort of, like, you can relate to what I'm saying with seeing similar habits with your own clients as what I've highlighted? Show of hands, please. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This seminar today is going to be very, very, very much geared, engaged, and focused at getting engagement up. Whether it's your clients, whether it's my clients, my family here, right? I'm looking forward to this one. So let's get stuck in. First and foremost, we will kickstart with a Q&A of anything to do with anything in business, as we always do. And it can, if you want to, just go straight in for the kill with accountability stuff and talking about how to gauge where your clients are at without them even really knowing. So anyone want to kickstart off with anything? Otherwise, I'll take the lead and there's no problem. This also, by the way, My man from down the road from me with a fucking basketball hoop in his office. Look at this guy, he's a baller, right? Damo, this webinar today, bro, is inspired by what you said last week. I got a lot of clients came to me on Voxer and they said how inspiring your talk was about you're fucking paying me, so I will show up and ensure that you don't quit. Well done. And this is inspired by that, bro. So well done. Anyone want to say anything about anything? Otherwise, no, we're going to get stuck in. Nothing about anything about anything. We're all good.
I do, actually.
Let's go.
I've had, I guess, issues taking action, and I realise it's like within myself.
Yeah.
But like we sort of touched on that this morning, but I'm just going to use the pain of where I was before being a PT. Like I used to clean, which I fucking hated, as you know.
Yes.
I'm going to use that pain of going, like, if I don't do the actions or take the action, I'm going to use that as my driver to move forward, because I really don't want to be where I am. But for some reason, I have huge resistance around the floor to the floor stuff, and then making the phone calls. But I'm getting better with the phone calls, and that's okay. But going up in person, I just, you know, I actually have huge resistance with that. But that's what I'm going to use. I just sort of had to think, since our boxes, that's what I'm going to utilise moving forward.
I love that, right? And thanks for being vulnerable as well, right? So think about it, like the accountability of where you came from. All right, I think maybe we talk about this floor to Kickstarter, because Jack as well there, a little bit of what we're doing here. It's the same stuff. So the accountability of not going backwards will push you to go forwards, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I know that you didn't like where you came from, right? And yeah, look, it's what's going to make a very good success story when we look back in a year's time and see where we came from, and jumping on 3 phone calls and doing whatever we did to get you to where we are, right? So let's go straight in with this floor to the floor. Basically, the floor walking is done incorrectly by 90% of trainers. Anyone that's watching this video on YouTube and who's not a client, you will probably know about this, because chances are you probably have walked the floor incorrectly. And without going repetitive, because a lot of people have heard this already, but it normally goes something like this. Hey, you want a free PT session? Right? Doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work. The answer is no from a lot of people. So our take on that, without going into it, is basically get people's attention, right? Give them the opportunity to win something for nothing, right? If people enter, it shows that they are remotely interested in your service. So therefore, you're instantly collecting warm leads, not cold, not MIA lists, not any list of birthdays that people give you because they want to palm you off something to keep you busy with, right? And it's that simple. Now, how do you approach them? It's in and out, right? And it's always, it's part and parcel of why I love my job so much. Is seeing people like Ray, who I see as infinitely confident, right? Confident. Ray's social media is amazing, guys. If you don't like if you're not friends with Ray, and again, all you guys, I love how we all interact. I always say it, friend each other, like follow each other, support each other, yeah? Crank the algorithms, make the performance of everything help. And it shows support. And we already do this in great volumes, but again, if you don't follow Ray, if you're not friends with Ray, drop her a friend request. She's amazing on social. She's loved. And then it's like, it's very hard to understand why someone so bubbly has resistance. Jack as well, prime example, someone with massive experience, confidence, right? Solid status of business with a very, an amazing partner in crime as well, I must say. I admired your partner when we spoke on our first phone call, Jack, and your vision and what you're doing. Amazing. But these guys, and a lot of you here, anyone else have a resistance approaching people in the gym, walking up to people and stuff? Tash, Stack, Tom, Tam, yeah, a little bit there, Jaden, yeah. Like it's crazy that the most confident people are the ones that provide resistance, right? First and foremost, always recognize where there is massive resistance. It shows that's where you should be focusing, right? If a lot of people they try and search for the easy route. There ain't no easy route. There isn't in life, period. There's none. If there was, I think I probably would have found it by now, because I've been looking for it for fucking 10 years, and it's not there. Like there's anything though, however, right? I remember when I walked the floor first, and I put this sort of like polished version of this strategy into play, I shat myself, and like it was horrible. And I kind of knew it was going to be something at some point that I was going to have to do. But where there's resistance, there's great reward. So first and foremost, it shows you that's where you should focus. Now, but what you've got to do is a couple of really big tips. Now, there's a new training video. Again, like I said to you guys, there's new training on the portal all the time. Like, subscribe, get the updates, because I can't notify everyone every single time a new training's up, right? Of the top, I think it's additional training on the floor to the floor, right? Where I go through a few tips. And this was compiled over Christmas, so it's only a few months old, where we did the hamper strategy, and a lot of people execute a floor approach with the hamper, right? I got a lot of the same resistance and the same sort of setbacks with that, which enabled that video to be put together. The most common thing I want you to do, which would probably get rid of 90% of resistance, 95, is imagine that the gym who is employing you, right, has told you to go and do this for them, right? Imagine that you're working for somebody and they pay your bills, and they have told you, go out and tell 100 people, we need 100, period. So Jack, we got to go get 100. That's what they're telling you. That's what Good Life's telling you. Same thing at Jets Rate. Like, you need to go get 100. Oh yeah, but we don't have that many members. Go and get 100. I'm paying your bills, right? So you got to do it, right? Because you're going to do it. Most people that work for someone, they do what they say because they're loyal to collecting the paycheck, right? Does anyone disagree with that? I don't. Is that Tom's hand up? It's not. Then you can't. Imagine that Good Life has asked you, we want to go and give away a gym membership to one of our existing members, which they'd never do because it's Good Life. But anyway, it's a different topic. And they want 100 people, right? They want 100. You're going to go out there and say, do you want to win a free gym membership? They'll be like, yeah, cool. What's the name and number? That's it, right? Think about if someone else asked you to do it, right? A lot of the underlying failures around this strategy, and again, we don't want to dwell on it too much, but it's that people think that the members on the floor that you approach know what you're doing, right? Your like mindset is, they know what I'm doing. They know that I'm going to be collecting this amount of names. One person's going to win. Then there'll be loads of runners up. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue, right? The only time people can kind of gauge something from you is if they show up for a consult, they know they're probably going to be sold something, right? Because they're not stupid. So if someone shows to a consult, chances are, if you do your job and you execute smoothly, they're going to convert. I was just speaking to two boys. So if you boys are watching this, Blade and Ben, in the UK, right? Especially Ben, like, don't overcomplicate the process. I mentioned that today in the communication. If you elongate your closing, right, you're gonna, these people will be going, get to the freaking point, and then when you tell them the price, they'll be like, sorry, can't do it. But it's not actually the price point. You probably elongated the process because you don't have the belief there. You're not delivering it smoothly enough, rolling it off the tongue with confidence, right? Which means that your closing rate is going to improve. So focus on that, Ben. I was speaking to you about that before. But make sure that you're just in the mindset of, I've been told to go and collect these numbers. Someone's going to win this one way or another, right? I just need to go and get people who want to win. That's it. Hopefully that helps. If you haven't seen that video, Ray, as well, like, go watch it. We'll continue. You've watched it. We'll continue to work through this. Has anyone got any other tips? I'm looking at, like, well, I was going to say Tane, but we still haven't even ran this fucking strategy, man. It's been like a year and a half, 2 years. Michael, Nathan, that's about it on here. So like old, like you OGs. Nath, you got something to say, my man. How do you give these guys a boost? I'm liking the fresh shave as well, bro.
Thanks. Can everyone hear me right? I'm in a derelict.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I shut myself first time I did the strategy as well. Sorry, my position is not very nice for stretching. But yeah, Simon's essentially right. When running the strategy, I get into a mindset of, I'm doing this for the gym, I'm doing it for the company. It helps if I put the logo on the piece of paper saying, oh, I'm going to sign up for this competition, blah, 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 free PT. Because then it looks like it's coming from the company itself rather than myself as a PT. So it's easier to hey, we're doing this. So I say, I don't say I'm doing this. I say, we're doing this. Would you like to put your name down?
Big,
That's what I do.
that's huge there. We, us, team, together, right? That's the wording, yeah? And then from there, it's Good Life logo, not yours. Because again, if you put your logo on it, right? It's like, yeah, it is for you, but you're wearing their uniform, right? Most gyms that anyone in the UK, Australia, anywhere around the world, right, that are watching this now, you're wearing the uniform, right? I'm actually surprised. I think Jaden's got an anytime top on, but it looks like, but not many uniforms here today. But normally you can see everyone's wearing a uniform. You're using their logo. Use their logo. We're collecting this. Do you want to win a free gym membership? Yes or no? Like, yeah, cool. How do I enter? Well, what does it cost? Nothing. Just name a number, please. Cool, done. Like that expresses interest that they want the free membership, right? So then when you can tell them that they've won a mini version of that, and then you go through the console process, and then we do what we're going to do today, which we're going to get to the point in a second with, then you should be able to see where their priorities are at. And that's it. Jack, is there any questions you want to ask the group on this one, bro? Like, whilst you've got sort of everyone here, it's up to you.
No, I just think we need to remind ourselves every day of the stuff you've said. So I pretty much play your recording that you send me on Boxer, saying, you know, bro, just think the gym's hired you, paying you per hour, go and get these leads, think about the exact same thing and go collect those numbers at the end of story.
It's literally, and I'm not joking, guys, as well. Like, if anyone is not a client and has pieced together basically what this strategy is, it's a cheat sheet to 6 figures for most people. I'm not even joking. It's a cheat sheet to 6 figures. It really is. Like, rather than people going around the gym and just burning leads and then getting demoralized, getting bashed down with your self-esteem, your confidence goes out the fucking window. This enables you to literally get loads of names. You call them. Obviously, you need all the processes that we have and how we're doing everything to go with it. But still, it really is a game changer. So hopefully that's helped. Hopefully, and you guys have got it. Like, all of you guys have like had success with it. You guys have had success. Here's the thing: if you get one yes, then it shows that it works and you nailed it. So just go and get 99 more. You know, it's as simple as that. Quite anything else? Questions? Anyone about anything? Tash, great to see you, especially as you're not in Melbourne at the moment. Well done for tuning in. Anything about anyone? Michael, you got something there? Was it?
Yeah, well, with the floor walk, the floor to floor.
Yeah.
You always get a bit nervous before you do it. I always find having a bit of a smile before you actually go out and do it gets you in the right mindset. Even when you're getting on the phone, smile before you make the phone calls. But at the end of the day, you're going up and you're saying, "Oh, hey, g'day, giving away this free prize. You want to enter it?" They go, "Oh yeah, okay, no worries." They put the name down. The worst thing they do is go no, and you go, "Oh no, they said no. Oh, okay, next, go get the next one."
That's it. You
I don't care about it anymore. I used to get anxious about it, and you wouldn't approach the big buff blokes in the gym. And a lot of the time, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
No.
And when you actually offer them something like that, they're really keen to have a crack at it. And you just show them 1 or 2 different things when you see them, and they go and spread the word about you around the gym. Yeah. I've got one at the gym doing that now, and he's the biggest ripped dude in the gym. He actually knows what he's doing because he is a PT, but he's telling everyone in the gym about me. Yeah. I'm like, "Thanks, mate." And it's just because I've done a workout at the same time that he was training, we got talking.
Yeah, and now he's got legs like Tane. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
nah, he's got little chicken legs.
Oh, he's very, yeah. No, I'm telling you, like 100%. Yeah, this is exactly right. Like, exactly what Michael's saying. Like, this, and it is. I think that the good thing there is, like, take a bit of a breath, smile, and like Michael said, still get nervous to this day. If I had to go into a gym and do this now, I'd probably freeze a bit. I'm not joking. I would. Like, I'm a very extroverted, confident person. I have to be, as the teacher, as it were. But I'd probably shit myself. Do you know what I mean? I would. I'd be like, "Fuck, I've had like 5 Easter eggs. I shouldn't even be in a gym at the moment. You know, I'm fat." Like, all this sort of stuff. Like, you know. But look, guys, it's as simple as that. Like, confidence, it comes from within, and always be driven by, like, you're legitimately giving one person the chance to win a body transformation for free. That would normally cost $800 or whatever it would be. So yeah, smash it and go get it done. Let's get stuck in, I think, to the mindset of your clients. I do like to think that I have a very nice elite bunch, obviously, of you guys that attend the seminar and those of you who will watch it. Elite bunch of PTs. I know statistically that like anyone that does 6 figures here is in the top 5% minimally of the industry, top 5%. So I would say that a lot of the guys here that we have, you're all in the top 5 to 1% of the industry. And I know that you're all great coaches. What I want to always try and do is I always want to try and work on the power of what I can give to someone who's already a great coach with my own experience to make them even better. And it's education around the power of the subconscious and noticing human patterns within the brain and how humans work. And if you guys can do this, you'll be one step ahead of your clients all of the time. It has to come from a place. So I did a Facebook video yesterday about like why you're the reason why your clients are leaving. You've got to be undeniably driven by care, like I am, and it's literally that simple. If you're not, you'll never achieve big things, right? And your own determination of what big may be or success may be, you'll never get them unless you're driven by the right things. So I've got a little sequence here. Now, step 1. So this is all to be able to read your clients and basically guarantee them results, guys. And that's where we're at today with the topic of this seminar. You've got to be able to read people's emotions, their subconscious, and their habit, right? A lot of this could come across with their language they're using, their verbal plus physical language, right? How they communicate. Also your intuition, this is huge. It's going to be quite deep stuff today. You ever feel like, I've said this once or twice before throughout the seminars, anyone ever thought like this client's going to leave and then they leave? Anyone ever had that before? You get a sense when a client's like, they're probably going to leave at some point and then they leave. I literally had it with every single person. It's not blowing my own trumpet, but it's just the truth. Like I used to have it with every single person. I'd be like, this person's going to leave. And then my subconscious would go, you've just jinxed that, Simon. Give it 2 weeks and they'll be out the door. And they'd be fucking out the door. I'm not even joking. Like you couldn't even make it up. So your intuition, trust that as well. There's a combination of all these things that you've got to do. And it's all subconscious based, right? Reading them, read their emotions, their body language, everything like this, right? Now, how do you do that on a surface level, which is conscious, right? And hopefully this whole subconscious and conscious stuff it means something, right? Does anyone not know like where I come from, where I say the power of the subconscious mind and picking up subconscious habits and stuff? I'm pretty sure everyone will, right? So conscious is like I'm waving my hand in front of my head, right? You can consciously see it. My subconscious knows that there's a ring light next to me that's there, even though I'm not consciously looking at it, right? It knows it's there. So you got to try and pick up the habits. Now, how do we consciously pick up on them? There's 3 things, right? They're all accountability tools. And ironically, they're all integrated into Pinnacle. And this is why completing these, if you don't, you're going to have a big retention issue with your business, especially if you're going into doing what Zach is looking at doing at the same time as what Damo and Ash is doing. So people making up the center of my screen, which is leverage, where you're putting the trust in other people to coach your clients. Right? If you are not using these things, you are basically fighting a losing battle. Only reason I can say that is because we've worked with the amount of people we have where it is proven that when you use these documents, you are going to increase your chances of success and reduce the chances of failure. 3 types of accountabilities, right? So first of all is a PT session log. All right. You can then have a check-in form, which we use with online trainers that you send out and you give back, all right? Or you can have a check-in message, ironically, like we talked about with you guys, that I send out to you, right? 3 types of things. What do all of these things require, guys, to be, how would I say this? I'll just answer the question. These things need to be completed, right? They need to be completed. So therefore they take time, right? We all have the same 24 hours time. So if people, hands up when you get my check-ins, or if you send check-ins to your clients and they've given you this feedback, or when someone messages you and you open it, you lose the notification and you go, I'll get back to that later, and then you close the app and you forget. Ever happened? Anybody? Would I be, can you just give me some peace of mind here, guys? Show of hands. Is that why you don't fill your check-ins a lot of the time with me? Anybody? Tom, Jack? Yeah, Jaden. Okay. The rest of you have no fucking excuses then. You guys, you took the opportunity well. So Jack and Tom, Jaden, well done. You nailed it. The rest of you, you're screwed. Get them done. So, okay, if your client, right, put it into perspective like this. If your client gets sent a check-in form, he doesn't fill the check-in form, she doesn't fill the check-in form, right? As a coach, does that make you happy or does that make you frustrated? Because it's not going to make you sad. It will frustrate you. Or are you like, oh, that's cool. Like, you can do that. It's no problem. No, right? So now this is open forum. In my notes here, make this open forum, Simon. When you have a list of people that don't fill check-in forms, right? Or they don't fill in their stuff, right? How do you currently handle it? How do you handle it, guys? I want people to come off mute and tell me. If any, like, does anyone not have any form of check-ins or anything like that? No, that's good. Or Tammy, a little bit. Or Tam, you want to speak, Tam, or you? No, or you don't have a form of check. That's fine. Use the PT session log a little bit. There we. That's a form of check-in. That's fine. So when someone doesn't actually fill a check-in form in, though, right? Because you guys have it. I know, Tom, you got people online, and a lot of people around here do too. How do you address it when they don't fill it in? Someone speak.
I just asked them during the PT session.
You ask them during the PT session. What do you ask them?
Hey, Simon, I sent you a tracker and I didn't see a response. So I was just wondering what the numbers are, or if you had your 3 liters of water, one thing or another. Something like that.
Perfect. What are the, let's continue with this, me and you, Jack. So what are the responses typically like then when you ask them that?
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry, I forgot. That's
Right.
a classic one.
Okay. Right. Same as Jack from Zach. Well done. Anyone like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Did anyone, show of hands, anyone else get that? Right. Okay. So Tanya, Tash, Jade, and I. Now, Nath. Now, what does that show you guys? What does it show you? What does it tell you? Because for me, it's black and fucking white. It's that simple. It's, what does it show?
They're not committed.
Lack of commitment, yes, correct. Or prioritization. Yes, there we go, Zach. You took the word out of my mouth, right? How do you address it? This is where Damo's violent side starts to come out, right? I'm not letting you leave. You're not doing the check-in form, right? No, but anyway, you were getting closer towards that. How do you address it? Because for me, like I always say to you, like tongue-in-cheek, guys, get your fucking check-in forms done. You know I mean that seriously as well, even though I'm not going to abuse you and swear at you, like aggressively, like Damo does with his clients. But like, Damo, what do you got, dude? How do you address it?
Yeah, well, I always start by thinking it's education as well, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the client needs to understand why the check-in is important and where it fits and how this contributes to the result. So I definitely never get violent or straight away, but I give, you know, that's okay. But then that education process starts. So then you start to explain why, and okay, let's next week try to get that one done. And then, like you're saying, with all this over time, you then can see black and white, where, you know, if they're getting the education and you're telling them why it's important and they're still not doing it, then that's almost like, hey, forget about everything else. Like, we have a bigger issue right here that needs to be addressed. Like, let's dive into that example, because that is the block.
Love it, love it. Now with that education stuff as well, bro, we've got, do you need anything else from me on that? Just while I've got you here, because I know you're busy. You've got the link and stuff to ready to go, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
So, okay, so education. Zach, you want to jump in before I change the topic?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it kind of goes back to what you were saying about the reading your client on a subconscious level. Yeah. Because there's this particular client that I'm thinking of at the moment, never fills in a check-in, and I get the impression that she's not going to leave, because I mean, there's in my mind, there's sort of two types of clients. There's the ones who sort of, if they're disengaged and they're not getting results, they'll leave. But then sometimes there's people who literally will just hire a PT because they feel they should, or they think they should, and they want some sort of accountability and someone to guide them through a workout once a week or twice a week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so again, I'm the same as Jack. So in our sessions, I'll be like, how is your sleep this week? How is your nutrition, stuff like that? How was the other session that or did you get that other session done? So on and so forth. But then, yeah, beyond that, I'll probably be at a loss.
Yeah, no, honestly, I love it. Man, I remember I had someone tell me, I actually had someone tell me once, I want a PT because it's a status thing. I was like, are you fucking serious? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same sort of, but people do want the form of accountability. But when hi Charmaine, good to see you. When you get the form of accountability, they go, oh, hang on a second, fuck that shit. Zach's actually pretty good at his job and Zach's holding me accountable. I don't want that. Do you know what I mean? So I like, we're on the same page. I fully get that. I think a lot of people don't realize if anyone comes into contact with any of my trainers here, right? They're getting results, right? As long as I do my job and I can communicate what I'm trying to communicate today to get you guys to hold up your end of the bargain so that you get the results, right? And it literally is that simple. So going back to what Damo was saying, there's education there that is then required potentially. Damo, you want to go again? Yeah.
Yeah. You might get to this anyway, but I thought I'll add it in because I definitely have some clients as well that they're busy, they got really high-end jobs, and to add a check-in and to say, hey, is almost like too much for them. They're like, I'm not here to then have more work to do outside of this sort of thing. I just want to come here, do my sessions. What I find with those people is they're the achievers anyway. So the education there is almost for me as the trainer to understand how this person works and operates. So maybe they're not doing the check-ins, but they're doing the work, they're consistent with their training, they're getting the result. So for me, it's just like, okay, now the check-in isn't as important because they're doing the work, they're showing up. So that's me understanding how they work.
Yeah.
But I guess, if you got someone who's not doing the work, not consistent, not doing the check-in, then that's a different story as well. So I guess, it's about trying to understand how people work and what's best for them, right?
You're 100% right. I mean, the summary is that you need to, for the end of the webinar, is you need to get on the same page as your clients, right? You need to understand what their needs are, what they want. And like Damo said as well, it's like for you guys, yeah? Like, as PTs, training's like second nature. Yeah? You don't need to be held accountable. But some people will use the excuses. Like with my online coach that I had like a year ago now, whatever it was, and I did my big journey, I was like, the check-in was a fucking pain in the ass. It was about 10 minutes long. There's an example of that check-in form in the portal, right? But it enabled me to show, like, I did it, even though it was a pain in the ass, and I'm freaking busy, right? Like a lot of other people are. It was an inconvenience, but I knew that if I didn't do it, the reason why I didn't do it is because I couldn't be bothered, because it was 10 minutes extra. I don't care who anybody is. You have 10 minutes for something you want to prioritize if you really want to prioritize it, right? So basically what we've got to try and do is, if there's resistance or if there's sort of communication of what people need in terms of education, like this is where you've got like your educational platform that comes in, whether it's like you do what Tom does, you give them a document at the start of their journey that pre-frames everything in terms of questions that they might have, like recipes, macros, like whatever it may be. You give them that, right? The PT pack that we put together as well. Anyone that like have a look through that thing? Anyone have any value to take away? Was it shit? No, I got told by one client it was shit. I was like, okay, all right, no worries. Thanks for that. That's a good constructive criticism. But anyway, that's fine. They said you need to actually give some value. It's like, okay, all right, that's fine. But look, that stuff, it kind of highlights it all out, right? You give them the education. with Damo, I think the next step for what we're doing as well is education in terms of a portal, and therefore you've got to go through, because if you find and there's someone who's not filling in check-ins and stuff like that, they then say that if you then ask, like Jack does in the gym, hey, what was the reason why? And they just say, they might open up and go, look, I need some help with this. I don't understand this. That's what you want people to do, right? But unfortunately, you need to drag that from them a lot of the time. You need to literally drag them or say, what is, or is there anything that you are not like above board with or not educated with that you need education on that I can help you with so that we can move forward, right? That's what you're going to want to kind of do. And if you then put together all these things, you work with so many people, you're able to then build something where there is literally an educational platform where they educate themselves and there's no questions that could or should be asked after they have access to that thing. If anyone wants an idea of how to build one of these things, an educational platform, just type like now on Voxer education, and I'll tell you about it when I go to Voxer, and I'll tell you how to do this. This is something for people that are going on an upward trajectory in their business, as you all are. So it is for everybody, but people that eventually, if you on Voxer, please, Jack, on Voxer. So like it's for people that are working with like fully booked status or multiples trainers, and you're hitting scale, because you cannot individually coach people at scale, right? So basically, going back to my little notes here, check-ins is a form of being able to notice a level of lack of prioritization. If someone doesn't fill a check-in in, that instantly should be a red flag for you. Instantly, it should be. I'll be honest with you, like it's for me with you guys, I know a lot of you are busy. I know that with Voxer as well, you don't have the opportunity with Voxer to be able to, like, if you lose the notification, right? Lose the notification, you can't re-put the notification in there. All right. So dude, like it's all good, Ash. Like just get it into your minds that if your clients lose or miss a check-in, the check-in, the purpose of it is not for them just to check in. It is a tripwire, right? For you to be able to gauge a lack of prioritization. And this is the deep level stuff now of what I wanted to get to in the seminar, right? The check-in forms, if not complete, show you your clients don't give a shit, period, right? That simple. That there is an excuse for open dialogue and communication around why don't you give a shit, right? That's where personal training session takes place, right? If someone repeat offends, right? If they repeat offend, someone goes to jail, they come out and they repeat offend, I think they've got a pretty bad issue going on. To know that what they're going to do repeatedly is going to put them back into a jail, that's a pretty bad issue. So for me, that person needs to be communicated with around why are you still not doing it, right? But again, the way in which you communicate, guys, don't be like me and Damo, right? Be aggressive and stuff. Don't do that. No, but you know what I'm saying. Look, polite and professional, always, and you're driven from the heart, right? Of caring. It's really important. But again, go and talk to them. From them not completing their check-ins, that's, and again, you actually completing your task of actually sending them out or using PT session log, it starts with that. If you're not using these documents or tools, then you're never going to be able to have an idea of where your client's mindsets are at. But when people don't engage 100%, I have clients that engage 100% all the time. All the time. Tane is one of them. There's not anyone else on this call. Tane is one of them, right? And sorry, guys, I'm not being nasty, but there's no one else on this call. There's a couple people that are close, don't get me wrong. But when you engage fully all the time, it shows that you are literally there, you care. And I'm not saying as well, guys, like I want you to complete everything all 100% of the time. I would love that, like Tane, but at the same time, I know that sometimes you miss things. It's completely fine. But I speak to you guys. I know, because I then, okay, miss check-in from Damo. What's going on, bro? Just a reminder, just get that thing done. Oh, sorry, I've been super busy, flat stick, focusing on some stuff at the gym. That's fine. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, it's addressed when the tripwire is set off. right? So what does anyone else have any forms of what they do or takes on what they do with clients? I say tripwires, yeah, but I mean that it's not really like a very professional statement, but that's what a check-in form should act as well as a tool to give you feedback to help coach your clients better. But it acts as a tripwire to recognize their level of dedication or lack of if they're not engaged. Anyone else got any input towards that about how you can gauge people's inactive sense of inactivity?
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, my camera's just falling. I've got a client who's not difficult. It's just, I think she's just having a hard time. I've done literally everything I can with her. Like she used to see me an hour once a week,
yeah.
But then she wouldn't come to the gym at all. So I sat down with her and I said, okay, look, I understand you're not motivated to come to the gym. So why don't we split the session into 2 30-minute sessions a week? Yeah. That way you're still paying the same.
Yeah.
But then outside of those sessions, I've done some coaching with her on like nutrition, on the nutrition side of things. And she was still not getting into the habit of it. So then I was like, okay, would it help you if I did some check-ins with you at the end of the week just to keep you accountable? And she's still not doing anything. And like, I'm running out of things to keep her accountable with. What do I do then?
Now, so I think this is a really good point. So there's a lot of people that then the way in which you've gone about that is not bad at all. It's perfect. Like you're trying to come up with a solution for every counteraction she has or every bit of resistance she has. Some people will have to get to the point where they can just openly admit, and this is again coming to the kind of the kicker, which is get on in some way, shape or form, you've got to get on the same page as your client, and you've got to get them to admit where they're at. It's kind of like the Sunshine Coast people, right, Charmaine? You've got to kind of get them to admit, like, where are you at, right? So eventually it will come to the point where like some people will just be so afraid to tell their PT that they don't care as much as they know they should. Let me say that again. A lot of people will be so scared and afraid to tell their PT that they don't care as much as they know they should. So them constantly having resistance, you going out of your way to try and patch things up, eventually it's going to come to a point where honestly, you've either got to get to a point where they just want to be trained in the gym, they want it for the status thing, like I said before, or they tell you what they want. Get on the same page, deliver it, right? Or you've got to get like blunt, you get rid of them as a client. That's it. Especially if this person comes at a detriment to your own mental health. If you come to a point where you consciously can tell that you give a shit more about the health and fitness of a client that you have than they do themselves, you've got to get on the same page with them, and you've got to have a blunt conversation with them. And eventually we'll come to a blunt conversation, because otherwise I've just seen what this stuff does to so many people. It's like, it'll fuck you up mentally. It will. And it will severely frustrate you. Hopefully does that help, Tan, a little bit? Like, you can't really do too much more. You basically got to go, if you want to quit, just tell me you want to quit. Right? I can tell that you're not happy here. Like, just tell me. I can tell you're not happy. Zach, what do you got, mate?
Yeah, like exactly what you were saying before, and someone else said as well, getting on the same page as your client. If you've got a client like that, and you can tell that they're just the sort of client that wants to show up to their session, whether it's once or twice a week, and do their 45, however many minutes it is with you, and then go home, and that's their level of commitment to what they're doing, as long as it's, like you said, as long as it's not sort of negatively impacting you as a trainer or as a person, just let it be. Match their commitment to their health and fitness, and then train them as many times as they want to be trained, and that's it.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100% right.
Just like don't let it get you down, or don't let it bother you. But just if that's their level of commitment, match it, train them, be nice, professional, courteous, whatever.
Yeah.
And if it ends, it ends. You know, losing them as a client clearly isn't a big deal.
It's super wise words. And I think that's a really good like bonus kind of summary is like, if you can tell, and I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. You work in one of the hardest industries out there, guys, period. There's not many industries out there. I can't really even think of one off the top of my head that's harder than the fitness industry, being a PT that sells something or attempts to sell something to someone who doesn't know that they need it, right? And when you're selling something to them, it's a cost to them. But the kicker is you're making them exert energy, which is not nice, right? That's why people don't exercise, because it's uncomfortable. You take away pizzas and burgers and replace it with chicken and broccoli, right? It's not, this is hard to do, guys. It's hard. So Zach perfectly summarizes, like, if you just get to the point where you just go, okay, cool, this is the level of commitment from them, you give them access to the education. Again, if you want me to educate you on how to educate them with the education platform, education, the word education on Voxer, guys, we do that. Like, you give them everything, and you've got to come to the point where you're on the same page with them. If you can trust your instinct, your intuition, the language, like I've said, physical and verbal language from your clients, and you know that something is up, right? If you know that something's up, confront it. Otherwise, that thought, as soon as you have it, this person's going to leave in a couple of weeks. That's correct, Simon. The universe, what you say is my command, and they fucking go. They will go. Then they will say, Tanya was probably not the best PT that I was hoping to have. Oh, do you know what? Charmaine probably could have delivered a little bit more. I was hoping that Charmaine would recognize that my off tone, even though it was on me, and I know I probably should have told my trainer, right? But I was hoping that Charmaine would recognize that. She didn't. That's why I left. She's speaking to her friends, by the way, saying this shit, right? You reckon they're coming to you? Get fucked. No chance. No way. Be careful with this stuff, guys. This is where retention kills people's businesses. But it's based on what I said yesterday on a Facebook video, that people don't care enough. But also, you've got to care enough, but do exactly what Zach said. Get on a level playing field, understand what they want. If you just want to train, I just want to understand what you want so I can give it to you, right? And that's it. And that's part of you being the demo approach of saying, I ain't going to let you fail. I'm not going to let you quit. I'm not letting you quit. I'm not letting you quit. It's my job. You've signed me up. You told me I want accountability. I want all this. Everyone kind of see how it's all piecing together. It comes from a place of care, but it comes from a place of, unfortunately, you having to confront the client who's too scared to tell you that they don't care as much as what you hoped they would. Yeah. Damo, is that hand?
Yeah. So I actually, part of why I said that last week, and I had a client exactly go through that sort of situation. And I was getting frustrated because they were showing the warning signs and they weren't doing it. I was sending them like Loom videos. They weren't even opening them, and they're missing their check-ins. And then, but what I did is I addressed it with her, the problem. I said, hey, like, I even said, like, we're missing check-ins. You haven't even opened up the videos, the Loom videos. I addressed it. I go, that's more concerning to me than missing a workout. And I just said to her, I'm like, I understand you're busy. She's got lots going on, and she did. But then what I did is I just, like, I guess you have to be in that position to be willing to lose a client. So, like, this is a Kerwin Ray saying, he goes, like, that runs to you is a threat. That runs away is dinner. So if we're always running and trying to put ourselves onto our client, like, we're a threat. You know what I mean? So what I did to my client was I just sort of addressed it with her. I said, I'm aware of it. And then I had that conversation, like, hey, what's really going on? What's happening in your life? Which was a different dialogue. And then I just said, look, awesome. Well, we got the training session. Like, that's what we're going to do. This stuff, the check-in and the video messaging, I'm just going to leave that up to you for now. So you do that at your pace. You check in when you can. I'm not gonna, and I told her, like, I'm not gonna hound you or put pressure there. That's now for you to do. And I'll wait to see when you're ready, and I'll let that go at your pace. We'll just focus on the training for now. You know what I mean? So I guess that's a point where you got to be willing to lose her, because she might not do that and then not do the training. And you're like, okay, well, I can't, you can't help everyone, right? You can't, they need to help themselves. So, and what she has done, like literally as of last week, she not only did her check-ins, she even messaged me, done my check-in, feeling good. She went to the gym early. She did all of her training pro. Like, it's just a big change in her has happened, because I got to listen to her for what's really going on. Gave her the power again, instead of me going, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this. I then just was like, well, I'm just going to be the trainer now. This is let's match and mirror each other here. Let's match our commitment, but I'll give you this opportunity. And then she ended up taking it. So it was really good. But it could have went either way. It really could have went either way as well at that point.
Yeah, 100%. No worries, Tom. Look, it's very, very, it's clever coaching, bro. You know what I mean? And again, this is why I say at the start of the webinar, like you guys, I know, make up in the top 5% of the industry, if not higher. Know that for a fact, based on income status, right? But also that sort of education there and perspective from Damon is an example of why he's a great coach too. Like the thing is Zach said it very well again before, and Damo, both two great coaches. Deviate straight away onto what the client wants to focus their energy into, highlight and just say, look, you're not getting your check-ins done. You're not replying to my boxes. That's fine. Let's focus the energy on what you are doing, which is your training. The other stuff, though, it makes up 60%. I'll leave that with you, right? I'll leave that with you. Just, again, it's professional, polite. It makes up 60%. I'm not going to force you to do it. You told me that you're busy and stuff like that. What I'll tell you is that it makes up 60%. It's valuable, and it is part of what you're paying for. But let's focus on the coaching. It almost guilt trips them into like going and doing it, right? And when they do it as well, ironically, when people get engaged, I say this to everybody individually, I'll say it in a group format for the first time. Ironically, when people get engaged, it's no shit, people start signing up clients. Like I can guarantee that anyone that's not engaged with their business coach, i.e. myself, that's working with me, or another coach who's listening to this, if you're not communicating with your coach, guarantee your business is probably struggling or you're not having a good day, because you don't want to confront it, right? And it's the same thing with these guys, right? When Damo, with his clever communication, his clever language, right, says that stuff. So guys, that's where it is. You got access to it. Get it done. We'll focus on this here. It guilt trips them into wanting to do it. It's clever. It's clever coaching. That's what a coach is. But again, in terms of subconscious, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. Does anyone else have anything like value-wise to put in terms of like how they approach their coaching with people, how they think that it could be valuable to anyone here or anyone watching? Otherwise, we'll continue on and kind of wrap it a little bit. That was like the quickest hour I reckon I've ever had. I thought it was like past. I must have been talking some shit. So it's awesome. But we'll just go through this again. So first and foremost, accountability and tripwires. You've got to have one at least. All right. Like again, with you guys, I know you are freaking busy. Like most of you guys here, you're all very, very busy, fully booked, if not have staffed. You're all well and truly on the way to fully booked, if not have staff. So I fully get it. But please, for me, my tripwire, right? Get your check-ins done. It literally takes, like Michael's check-in replies are the best that I get. Michael's very close to being like a Tane, right? Because he doesn't do his business tracker every single week. But Michael's reply is yes, no, 5, no. Basically, fuck off, that was annoying, Simon, but I've got it done, right? That's literally what he puts, right, Mike? It's literally like yes, no,
I'm
5.
generally trying to get out of the car to get into the gym, so I'll get this done quick, shoot it through.
That's why in the check-in I send you, I say this literally takes 2 seconds, guys, get it done, right? Again, tripwire or accountability tool, okay? Use those. And it even sounds horrible calling it a tripwire, but I think everyone kind of will know what I'm saying when I say that. But if you've got clients then of which read their physical language, their body language, and their verbal language, combine that, right? you'll know straight away that something's wrong. If you ever get the last warning sign, which is this client's going to leave soon, that should be your calling to sit them and go, let's have a chat. Because when you have that, normally for me, I had about 2 weeks. But then I would sit them down and I would literally go, okay, where are we at here? Like, not losing weight, you're over 115 kilos, whatever. You knew something was off. Oh yeah, do you know what? I've been freaking binging too much. I've been eating too much chocolate. Oh, and then they start to pour out. Okay, I want you to go and watch this in the educational platform, right? Of which, again, the word education in Voxer guides if any of you want it. And I'll show you how to do it. It'll enable you to eventually get to a place of, okay, like Zach said, this person wants the training, that's fine, we'll focus on that, right? Or this person wants this, or use of Damo's language, to be able to get on the same page. Guys, just take away this one thing. If your clients aren't engaged, also, if canceling, right? Obviously, like late show, no shows, late shows, or late cancellations, sorry. That right there, right, is another massive telltale sign. Huge. Like, again, because look, there might be, like, a tire might have burst, or they might have broken the car down on the side of the road. That shit rarely happens. Anyone had those excuses from a client before? My car has broken down, right? Like, it's common practice. These things, right? And then it's like, why does your car keep breaking down 3 times a week and you're on a gold package? Like, I don't understand. But look, it shows massive lack of prioritization. That's another nail in the coffin. All of these are triggers for you to be the best coach that you can be, and to go and beat your clients to it before they come to you, after that voice in the back of your head tells them they're going to come and quit. And that is it. So use them, use the tripwires, analyze the reply rates, and that will get you to get a very good insight combined with everything else that we're spoken about. Verbal and physical language, very important. And then sit them down. And unfortunately, you're going to have to drag an answer out of them, because most people don't want to tell their coach that they don't want to be coached anymore. There's a reason, it's a little subtopic, guys. I've never told anyone this, but the reason why we don't have lock-in contracts, all right, no worries, Sue, hopefully you're well. The reason why we don't have lock-in contracts is a massive thing, right? It's because when a contract comes to the end, right, people that sell 10 packs or contracts and stuff like this, it gives them an excuse to quit. All it takes is one day where they're having a bit of a bad day, right? They've had a little bit too much food, and they have something happen and they go, I'm fucking quitting. Like, I just quit. They could do that, right? If you don't have lock-in, if you have no lock-in contracts, this is the fundamental reason why I don't recommend having them. It means that the client has to come to the trainer and tell them that they want to quit. No one wants to do that. I've never told anyone that, but that's why no lock-in contracts are better. It also builds up a lot more trust and rapport in the coach, rather than, oh, I've got to, you know, and you can have contracts. It's fine. Obviously, Michael, you 6-month contracts and stuff like that sells them like hotcakes, right? But no problem, Tash, no worries. Like, no lock-in contracts. It forces the trainer to come to you and tell you that they want to quit, and they don't want to do that. No one wants to tell a PT that they want to quit on their health and fitness. That's why excuses there. Yes, Michael.
With those ones in mind, the way the contracts are set up, I give them the option of 6 or 12 months. But then it's an ongoing contract. So if they want to quit, they've still got to give 30 days notice. Yeah. Or pay out their contract.
Yeah. Like, we always do like minimum terms as well. Like, you can do a minimum of 12 weeks, and it's like whatever it may be. And no problem, Zach. Oh, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same as Michael. So do minimum term. So yeah, like, I mean, it guarantees like that you can get the results in that time frame. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. Like, and that's why it's easy to sell. We then spoke with Ash though last week, again, where you have the flip side, where these contracts, then sometimes people want to break them. And that was a very legitimate reason with the girl who wanted to go from a gold, but still wanted it drop to a silver. Did you have a chat with her, Ash? How did that go in the end?
She's doing a bit. She's gone a bit silent this week. I haven't actually heard back from her.
Okay, so there you go. So, oh look, this stuff happens. And again, with the contracts, it's no worries, Zach. It's quite hard sometimes when you put it in place and it's a minimum commitment, and then people just try and wiggle the way out. But again, they'll use every excuse under the sun, because at the end of the day, they don't want a coach that's as good as what you guys are, to confront them with the fact that they don't want to put the effort in a lot of the time. And that's just the fitness industry. That's why it's one of the hardest industries, guys. So any other questions about anything? Otherwise, I think I have an appointment. So yes. Any questions about anything? Was that a hand up, Jaden? You all good though, bro? Yeah, you all good? Good stuff, my man. Good to see you. Guys, awesome work. And again, just love your clients, right? Pay attention to them, listen to the triggers, listen to the tripwires, but don't trip your clients up, because that hurts. And that's it. Simple stuff. All right, guys. Speak to you soon. Well done.